Hello and welcome to Clearview Television. We are reaching you live from Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. First, the headlines. President Buhari joins world leaders, Commonwealth nations to mourn Queen Elizabeth II, who died on September 8. Another nationwide fuel scarcity looms as independent marketers and owners of filling stations suspend lifting of petrol from depots. Ukraine retakes 1,000 square kilometers of territory from Russia after 6 months of invasion. I am Gloria Atta with these and more. Welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari has joined other world leaders and prominent people in the society to pay tribute and eulogize the late Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away on Thursday, September 8. President Buhari, in a statement issued by his media aide Malam Garba Shehu, said, "My family and I, and the more than 200 million Nigerians, have learned with immense sadness of the passing of the Queen and the end of her unique and wonderful 70-year reign. Her late Majesty was the only British sovereign known to 90% of our population." As contained in the statement, President Buhari described the late Queen as a historic part of modern-day Nigeria, stating that the chapter of Nigeria's history will not be completed without the late Queen. President Buhari said the story of modern Nigeria will never be complete without a chapter on Queen Elizabeth II, a towering global personality and an outstanding leader. She dedicated her life to making her nation, the Commonwealth, and the entire world a better place. President Buhari also congratulated the newly crowned monarch, King Charles III, wishing him the very best as both nations look forward to the continuous healthy relationship it has shared over the years. The Queen's state funeral is expected to take place at Westminster Abbey in less than 2 weeks. The exact day will be confirmed by Buckingham Palace. There was a remembrance service at St. Paul's Cathedral attended by the Prime Minister and other senior ministers this Friday. Because the Queen died in Scotland, her coffin will lie at rest at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. The public may be allowed to view the coffin after a few days. The coffin will then be flown to London, where hundreds of thousands of people will be allowed to file past over a period of 4 days, lying in state at Westminster Hall. Gun salutes of 96 rounds to mark each year of her life will be fired in Hyde Park and elsewhere. The Union flag will be flown at half-mast on government buildings until the morning after the funeral. Flags will return to full mast for a 24-hour period beginning at 1 p.m. on Saturday to mark the proclamation of Charles as king before returning to half-mast. Meanwhile, King Charles III greeted crowds outside Buckingham Palace on his return to London with Camilla, Queen Consort. A seemingly endless line of people held out stretched hands towards the king, passing on their condolences. The Queen, Britain's longest reigning monarch, died peacefully at Balmoral in Scotland on Thursday, aged 96. King Charles, 73, has already undertaken his first constitutional duties as monarch after holding an in-person audience with Prime Minister Liz Truss at Buckingham Palace. Shortly before, the sun shone brightly as the new king emerged from the state limousine outside the palace to shake hands with people who had gathered there. With cheers and spontaneous shouts of "God save the king," the crowd swelled against barriers assembled across the entire length of the palace forecourt. As condolences and tributes continue to pour in from millions across the world, Clearview Television beams the spotlight on the life and times of the quintessential and remarkable leader, Queen Elizabeth II. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary officially known as Queen Elizabeth II, was born on April 21, 1926 at Broughton Street, London, UK, to the former Duke of York, Prince Albert, and his wife, Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyon. She was Queen of the United Kingdom and other Commonwealth realms from 6 February 1952 until her death on September 8, 2022. She was Queen Regnant of 32 different sovereign states in the course of her reign and served as monarch of 15 of them at the time of her death. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days is the longest of any British monarch and the longest recorded of any female head of state. Elizabeth was born in Mayfair, London, as the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York. Her father acceded to the throne in 1936 upon the abdication of his brother, King Edward VIII, making Elizabeth the heir presumptive. She was educated privately at home and began to undertake public duties during the Second World War, serving in the Auxiliary Territorial Service. In November 1947, she married Philip Mountbatten, a former prince of Greece and Denmark, and their marriage lasted 73 years until his death in April 2021. They had 4 children: Charles III, Anne, Princess Royal, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex. When her father died in February 1952, Elizabeth, then 26 years old, became Queen of 7 independent Commonwealth countries: the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Pakistan, and Ceylon, known today as Sri Lanka, as well as head of the Commonwealth. Queen Elizabeth II reigned as a constitutional monarch through major political changes, such as the Troubles in Northern Ireland, devolution in the United Kingdom, the decolonization of Africa, and the United Kingdom's ascension to the European communities and withdrawal from the European Union. The number of her realms varied over time as territories gained independence and some realms became republics. Her many historic visits and meetings include state visits to China in 1986, Russia in 1994, the Republic of Ireland in 2011, and visits with 5 popes.
Prince Philip and I are delighted to be here and to experience at first hand Ireland's world-famous hospitality. Together, we have much to celebrate: the ties between our people, the shared values, and the economic, business, and cultural links that make us so much more than just neighbours, that make us firm friends and equal partners.
Elizabeth had a deep sense of religious and civic duty and took her coronation oath seriously. Aside from her official religious role as Supreme Governor of the established Church of England, she worshipped with that church and also the National Church of Scotland. She demonstrated support for interfaith relations and met with leaders of other churches and religions, including 5 popes. A personal note about her faith often featured in her annual Christmas message broadcast to the Commonwealth. Elizabeth was patron of more than 600 organizations and charities. The Charities Aid Foundation estimated that Elizabeth helped raise over 1.4 billion euros for her patronages during her reign. Her main leisure interest included riding horses, and she loved dogs, especially her Pembroke Welsh Corgis. She faced occasional Republican sentiment and media criticism of her family, particularly after the breakdowns of her children's marriages. Prince Charles and his wife, the Princess of Wales Diana, separated. Prince Andrew and his wife, the Duchess of York Sarah, also separated. Anne was not left out as she divorced her husband, Mark Phillips. The royal family also suffered another period of sadness when Diana died on August 31, 1997 in a car crash in Paris. Just recently, the Queen's grandson, Prince Harry, and his wife Meghan Markle gave up their duty with the royal family and moved to the United States. However, support for the monarchy in the United Kingdom remained consistently high, as did her personal popularity. On 8 September 2022, Buckingham Palace announced that the Queen was under medical supervision at the Balmoral Castle after doctors expressed concern. The Queen's 4 children, along with her daughters-in-law and grandsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, travelled to Balmoral. Her death was confirmed that evening, setting in motion Operation London Bridge. Indeed, the world celebrates her for her love, dedication and selfless service to humanity. At Clearview Television, we say, all hail the Queen for a remarkable life well spent. No fewer than 166 ex-agitators in Bayelsa State, under the auspices of the Presidential Amnesty Program Phase 2, have tackled the interim administrator of PAP, Colonel Milan Dixon Dikio, retired, over alleged non-payment of their stipends of 65,000 naira for over a year. They accused Dikio, who is also the special advisor to the president on PAP, of being responsible for the rising wave of crude oil bunkering activities in the Niger Delta region. Speaking on behalf of the aggrieved 166 ex-militant leaders, Chairman Phase 2, General John Esuku, claimed that the refusal of the Amnesty Office to pay over 6,000 ex-agitators their 65,000 monthly stipends for the past 1 year had driven a lot of jobless youths in the region to return to the creeks to resume artisanal crude refining. Esuku explained that despite several letters sent to the Amnesty Office for a meeting to resolve the issues surrounding the non-payment, the federal government had gone ahead to pay billions of naira for the pipeline surveillance contract. Long queues are about to return to filling stations in Rivers State less than 3 months after the last national emergency. This follows the suspension of the lifting of petrol from depots in the state by independent marketers and owners of filling stations over allegations of harassment by security agents. The petroleum products dealers say the security agents, comprising of men of the Nigerian Army, Police and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, are being used by some acclaimed officers of their unions to enforce the payment of an illegal levy of 15,000 naira per marketer in private depots and tank farms. At a joint briefing in Port Harcourt, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria and the Petroleum Retail Outlet Owners Association of Nigeria warned that the scarcity, which is expected in a few days' time, will escalate to other parts of the country as similar complaints are being received from other states. As Nigerians count down to the 2023 general election, the main opposition party PDP is still grappling with internal crisis. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says the crisis is persistent because the national chairman and presidential candidate of the party have refused to honor agreements reached. Governor Wike was speaking at the commissioning of the Ahwada campus of the state-owned university.
At the appropriate time, I was going to speak. But now that things are coming out, let me be revealing small to you people.
Following what the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike says are allegations being made that he is trying to destroy the PDP simply because he did not win the presidential ticket, Governor Wike has, however, decided to lay the matter to rest with some revelations, noting that all he is asking the PDP national chairman is to respect the agreement reached with him.
Let nobody deceive you and say, must Wike be president? We have finished that area. Nobody's talking about that. We are talking about structure of the country. You said if the presidential candidate comes from the north, that he will resign by the convention of our party, that the candidate of our party, the chairman of our party, will come from the south. When the North Central met in the house of Governor Bala Muhammad, the governor of Bauchi State, he said so there. When he made the caucus of the Senate, he told them that.
Governor Wike further said the presidential candidates of the party, Atiku Abubakar, also gave his blessings to the call for Yocha Ayu to step aside in the interest of equity, challenging Atiku Abubakar to deny if there was no such agreement.
The candidate told me, I said, listen, I want us to work together. And then he said, look, Ayu must go. I said, why? He said, because when a candidate comes from the north, the chairman will come from the south. And I'm saying, implement what you told me. What offense have I committed? What offense have I committed? And people are just, wicked. It is nothing to do with wicked. It has to do with integrity. This is what you told me. I challenge the president candidate to deny this. If he denies this, I go further to say so many things to Nigerians. Because enough is enough. We can't continue this way. They have today told the BOT chairman to resign. Who is talking about chairman of BOT? What is the role of the BOT? BOT is an advisory body. We have never zoned BOT. BOT is an advisory body. BOT is not a decision-making body.
Governor Wike says the PDP presidential candidate has chosen to become arrogant, insisting the right thing must be done.
They're arrogant because they believe somebody in the presidency is backing them. But what they don't understand, the same person backed somebody as APC presidential aspirant and the person failed. I will tell Nigerians the appropriate time. Who is that person in the presidency that's backing them, that's being arrogant? You can't be arrogant to us. You can't. The chairman of the party and the candidate or president, as the case may be, are those who will sit down and take decision. The candidate is from the north. The chairman is from the north. Who will represent the south in decision making? You have taken the president. We have agreed, yes. You can't take the two major positions of a party. You cannot do that.
The governor says no amount of threats or blackmail will stop him from fighting for justice in Nigeria and the PDP.
President Muhammadu Buhari has advised Nigerians to be confident in the capacity of the armed forces in defending the territorial integrity of the country. The president's morale booster came while commissioning the ultrasound modern sports complex of the Nigerian Navy as part of activities to formally open the 12th Nigerian Navy Games for the year 2022 in Lagos.
While commissioning the newly constructed Nigerian Navy Sports Complex, the Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari applauded the efforts of the Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awal Gambo for investing in sports development.
The construction of this sports complex has provided a standard venue for the Nigerian Navy to host major games as well as appropriate venue for naval personnel within Lagos to use for training and other recreational purposes. May I also use this opportunity to re-emphasize the significance of synergy between the armed forces, other security agencies, and the general population in bringing about long-lasting peace and stability in the country. It is now my pleasure to declare the 12th Nigerian Navy Games, Lagos 2022 open.
The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in his Good message, described the Nigerian Navy as an important wing of the nation's armed forces, critical to protection of lives and property.
Lagos, is a coastal state and has long and mutually relationship with the Nigerian Navy. The Nigerian Navy, therefore, is an important partner to us in ensuring the security of life and property of Lagosians. We will never take this partnership and support for granted. We will continue to look for ways to deepen our relationship for the peace, security, and progress of our people.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Awal Gambo said the Navy would continue to sustain the fight against crude oil theft and other maritime crimes.
Hosting the 12th Nigerian Navy Games 2022 at a time like this, amidst resource constraints, displays the Nigerian Navy's resolve to enhance fitness of naval personnel and capacity to tackle prevailing security challenges. May I therefore use this opportunity to express commitment and resolve to sustain the fight against crude oil theft and other maritime crimes. Indeed, the nation exited from the International Maritime Bureau's parity list early in the year, and no incidents of piracy has been recorded in the last 1 year.
President Buhari also expressed hope that the 2022 Nigerian Navy Games and facilities will afford participants the opportunity to acquire the requisite fitness to deliver on their official mandate as military personnel.
Ukraine claims to have retaken more than 1,000 square kilometers of territory in its south and east from Russia in the last week. President Volodymyr Zelensky said the area had been liberated as part of a counter-offensive since 1st September. Another general claims more than 20 villages in the Kharkiv region have also been recaptured. Russian forces have disputed some of the advances, which, if confirmed, will mark a significant victory for Ukraine. Kyiv has liberated dozens of settlements near the northeastern Kharkiv region so far this month, President Zelensky said in his nightly address on Thursday. The offensive southeast of Kharkiv would also bring Ukraine's troops closer to the eastern region of Donetsk, over which Russia has maintained substantial military control since the war began 6 months ago. The Kremlin declined to comment on Kyiv's claims to have retaken territory near Kharkiv, but some Russian officials did dispute the extent of the advances, including Kyiv's claim to have recaptured the city of Balaklia. If you are just joining us, you're watching the news on Clearview Television. When we come back, we bring you stories on women and children. Stay with us.
The news continues now with stories from our area of specialization, women and children. After the main transmission of our news, we rebroadcast on our YouTube page, Clearview TV. Do you operate a women or children's NGO? Are you at the helm of affairs of a government establishment or a corporate organization involved in the affairs of women and children? Then you are our partners in progress. We have a mission to better the lot of our women and children. Join us to celebrate womanhood and work assiduously to better the lot of the Nigerian child. This is our mission.
Welcome back. Let's now join our own rapper, Queen Red, for some freestyles to spice up the weekend on our entertainment segment.
Hey beautiful people, welcome to Clearview TV. This is the Free Flow Friday, which I am going to be introducing to you. My name is Queen Red. So what are we doing? Basically, all we do on days like this is play beats, freestyle, rap, sing, and keep you entertained. By next week, we're going to be introducing to you some very top dope rappers in the city of Abuja. But for today, I'm going to be doing a mashup of my own raps. So you guys should tell me what you think after this. Yeah. So, this is how we go. This is how we'll flow. Yeah. See, first of all, to say its introduction. My name is Queen Red, I rap and give them some action. Because I'm the kind of rapper that you can't tie. But if they're trying to tie, then the gas die. T&D, I give them lyrics with a bust eye. I'm Red Bull with no wings, but I stay fly. Zehindala Yaga Bosa. Speaking in tongues, now watch them dance Makosa. They're painting pictures of me, but I'm like no sir. Yeah, I got with some pens like Medusa. Yeah, see, hankali, zomuje, shim no lombia here, ibakute, anybody, so I gotta do these lines unfair. If they listen, then I hope they hear me loud and clear. Cause lately I've been running from myself on reality, trying to keep it cool when I skip the formality. I know it's gotten hotter when I sip from my cup of tea. Can't get me insane cause I'm God's own property. You can't eat your cake and then have it. For some it's a habit.